You know, when I look at this menu now, I wonder if this is how my dad felt reading my report cards as a kid. All right, how's it going, everybody? We're back here with some Modern Warfare 2. Real quick, for those of you getting sick of all this FPS stuff, before you click off, I was actually gonna make a Dark Souls video today. I recorded like 6 hours for it. It was gonna be a big one. And then when I sat down to edit, I realized my mic was off the entire time, so it's just 6 hours of me silently playing Dark Souls. I'm a YouTube partner, by the way. So yeah, we're back playing this game today because there's shipment 24/7 and I'm very tired and don't feel like thinking. Actually, this kind of works though. I had some stuff to talk about anyway. Also, while we're queuing here, make sure you leave a like if you do enjoy the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And thanks again for all the support recently, even though I'm a fucking idiot. Dude, I'm used to being able to actually move. This feels so fucking clunky, bro. Oh my god, this might have been a bad idea. Anyway, I know we're playing Modern Warfare 2, but obviously the big topic of the day is XDEFIANT. Is it better than Call of Duty? Is it going to kill Call of Duty? Can Activision ever recover from this monumental shellacking of a beta that... What the fuck? What is happening? And then I'm just dead. That's like, okay. Yeah, I was thinking shipment would be better because I just kind of want to talk and not have to think about it, but on second thought, XDEFIANT might have been a better choice. But yeah, like I was saying, everybody's talking about XDEFIANT. I mean, this beta has definitely shaken up the Call of Duty community a bit, to say the least. Now, I do just want to say off rip, do I think that XDEFIANT's going to end up killing Call of Duty? In all honesty, probably not. I think there are two very distinct groups of players that are being appealed to here. I mean, obviously, every Call of Duty game feels different, so like this isn't going to necessarily apply to everybody. But as far as like Modern Warfare 2 goes, there is definitely a market for this kind of slower pace of multiplayer that really encourages you to be tactical and, you know, doesn't really encourage pushing and wants you to hold corners and hold your positions and not move a whole lot, which is fine. I mean, obviously, you know, if there's a market for that, there should be a game for that. I think the biggest issue a lot of the Call of Duty community has with this is that it's not really Call of Duty. It's not what made COD fun. Like this shit, laying down on shipment with an assault rifle in a crate, you used to get like bullied for trying to play like that, you know what I mean? Now, part of the reason people got made fun of for playing like this, especially back in the day, was because it's not exactly an optimal play style. On the older games anyway, as far as like shipment and COD 4, but as far as this game's design in Modern Warfare 2019, you know, those games wanted you to camp. Even on the smaller maps like shipment, the game really encouraged slower play styles, which again, that's fine. There is a demographic of player that wants to play that way and wants to be catered to, but obviously it's not for everybody, and we're definitely seeing that now with the success of XDEFIANT, because XDEFIANT's kind of different. The movement is, you know, definitely much faster paced. It's more encouraging you to push. You can't even go prone. There was a whole thread that the devs did earlier today about like why they chose not to have a prone option in the game, and it was specifically to do with like cheesy ways you can camp in the game, I guess, to which I would say that's perfectly fine. I mean, I know I do it a fair bit, but I've never really been a huge fan of drop shotting in the first place, just as a concept. That guy has come back to that same crate like 8 times, by the way, and he's going back again. Did you see that? He was running right back. I bet... Dude, get out of the way. Gonna lose my mind to my fucking teammates here, I swear. Dude, I'm not an aim assist hater by any means, but I'm so used to not having access to this level of aim assist on XDEFIANT, like, I'm overcompensating everything. Now, the other thing people are citing as making XDEFIANT a little bit more enjoyable is the lack of skill-based matchmaking, or lack of skill-based matchmaking in comparison to this game. The devs did say on Twitter today that there is, like, some kind of skill-based matchmaking as far as how the teams are balanced. If I'm remembering correctly, I think the gist was that players do have MMR, but it's not used in terms of, like, finding you lobbies. It's only used to compose the teams once the lobby is created, which actually I don't mind too much. If anything, I think that's probably a pretty good way to do it, because in fairness, I do remember way back in the day, I would run into lobbies all the time where it felt like it was, you know, it'd be like me and a team of 5 morons against 6 of the biggest tryhards I've ever seen in my life. So on that front, I think that's a pretty happy medium. Like, the lobbies are still gonna have that nice mix as far as, you know, gameplay is concerned. You're gonna get some lobbies that are sweaty, you're gonna get some lobbies that you just can't compete in, you're gonna get some lobbies full of bots. It'll be a nice gameplay variety, but the teams will still feel relatively balanced. Because again, the problem with the skill-based matchmaking in this game is not that the team composition is sweaty, it's the fact that, you know, the entire lobby is sweaty. It doesn't matter how you slice the team, everybody's sweating, everybody's using, you know, meta loadouts and whatever the best movement is if the game allows for it. And I will say, I've definitely felt and enjoyed that gameplay variety in the brief amount of time I've been able to play XDEFIANT, which is actually doubly impressive, because if you didn't see my last video, I was remarking that even this beta is actually sweatier than the full game's probably going to be, because it's a closed beta and like you have to go out of your way to get a code for it. So the only people playing the game are people who like want to play it, which means they're probably FPS veterans, and they're people who are generally going to be playing harder and playing better than like your average player base. XDEFIANT probably won't see any like casual players until it releases fully, because if I'm not mistaken, I think the game is slated to be free to play on launch. That might not be 100% correct, but I think that's what they said they were going for. I forgot I had on a riot shield. I was trying to switch to a pistol. What the fuck? He like DI'd me with a Molotov. What the hell happened? So anyway, long story short, the games are already fun as is, and they're probably only going to get more fun as like development goes down the line and, you know, the full game ends up coming out and all that good stuff. But now for the original point, will this game be able to kill Call of Duty? I doubt it. I've seen some people saying that Call of Duty's too big to fail at this point, and I definitely see where they're coming from, and to a degree, I think that's the case. I mean, as long as it exists, people will buy Call of Duty. I'm probably one of them, unless the game goes horribly, horribly wrong somewhere. I'm not saying that the game hasn't already gone horribly, horribly wrong, but you know what I mean. Like, there are definitely things that the game could do to just make me not even want to buy the next title. But unless they reach some extreme point, I seriously doubt they won't sell enough copies to at least, you know, maintain the brand and maintain the yearly releases and all this shit. Dude, why is everyone just camping? That's another thing I'm used to from XDEFIANT. I'm used to people actually moving and not just sitting in one spot. Dude. Oh my god, it's 3 riot shield hits. I forgot. That's how little I've played this game, dude. It's been like that for 2 seasons at this point or something. So yeah, I don't think XDEFIANT will necessarily kill Call of Duty and that, you know, the game's just gonna lose all its players and no one's gonna want to touch it anymore. If anything, I think it's gonna be like Fortnite during those years that Call of Duty was kind of down, you know, between like World War II and Black Ops 4 and stuff. It's not going to kill the game per se. It's just gonna be something else for the community to go and check out, essentially, you know? Now, obviously, the hope is that XDEFIANT has the quality and community backing and developer backing to succeed over a decent period of time. Like, hopefully it ends up more like Rainbow Six, where, you know, the game has a healthy player base for years and years, and hopefully the devs don't, you know, go back on what their promises were as far as making the game. You know, when they said they really wanted to double down on that, like, casual arcade shooter style, which, again, I'm well aware is not for everybody, and I don't think it needs to be. For me, and I think a lot of people, XDEFIANT is just a good alternative to the way that Call of Duty's going, because I mean, Call of Duty doesn't really have a competitor, you know? It's not like if I'm getting sick of CSGO or the way Valve is treating it, I can go play Valorant or something. I mean, obviously those are 2 different games, but it's like relatively similar in concept, you know? Call of Duty doesn't really have anything even close to being like that. I mean, the thing to play used to be Battlefield, but they kind of fumbled the bag, you know? So Call of Duty kind of is just unabated as far as competition is concerned, and, you know, those of us who are annoyed with the way Activision's doing things, we don't really have anywhere else to go. I'm so confused as to what's going on. Dude, it's just, why are they spawning on the hard point? I don't understand. But yeah, I think XDEFIANT will be good in that way. I think the competition will, for one thing, be good for gamers looking for a selection, but also, hopefully it kicks Activision into gear a little bit to maybe actually make a better game, you know? Because again, another one of the problems that I have with Modern Warfare 2 is not just the state of the game as it is now, it's the support post-launch. Like, we've barely gotten any maps, we haven't really gotten any meaningful updates, the community largely has gone ignored, which actually, that's the big thing I really hope Activision takes away from this. The way that the devs for XDEFIANT have been communicating with their community. I know it's just a beta and this is kind of normal, but I mean, they're like directly interacting with people on Twitter. They're really trying to get genuine feedback. I think it's a good thing. I kind of wish Activision would do that a little more. Obviously, with a game the size of Call of Duty, it's not 100% realistic to listen to everybody, but like, I don't know, for the last couple of years, it feels like the community has been talking to a brick wall trying to communicate with Activision as far as like what we want to see in the game, you know? Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about in this video, which is somewhat unrelated, is the movement, as far as like the topic of movement in XDEFIANT, because I've seen that come up on Twitter a couple times. I meant to make a whole video about it, but I guess I'll just talk about it now, because people have already started sharing like movement clips on Twitter as far as them, you know, doing like this kind of shit and like jumping around and whatnot. And, you know, people are clowning on them for the most part, because 99% of the time it's people with terrible aim that are just spamming buttons. Now, that's not to say you can't have really good movement on XDEFIANT. You definitely can. I will say this, as somebody who generally does not like advanced movement in FPSs, I think XDEFIANT kind of hits the nail on the head. It reminds me a lot of Black Ops Cold War, where I was also saying I like the movement a lot, where it's there and the skill gap is there for the people who are good enough to exploit it, but it's not over the top and giga spammy, you know? One thing that the devs talked about that I actually really did like was that they made it so that you have like an aim penalty for jumping too much. Like, basically in XDEFIANT, if you do this like just over and over again and you're standing there, you know, essentially trying to bunny hop, it doesn't really work as far as like getting into gunfights is concerned. Did I just get fucking no-scoped? It's not even gonna show me. I love this game. But yeah, I think that's a good thing too. I think the movement options that exist are definitely good enough to discourage people from like camping or sitting and just trying to hold a corner. You know, players who are good enough are definitely able to challenge power positions with no problem whatsoever. Obviously, you have to be good enough, which is the point. But yeah, on the whole, I do think that the movement in XDefiant is good. I think it's a fresh, you know, change of pace from what we've seen from Call of Duty in the past, and also it reaches that point where it's not super spammy, but there is skill gap there. Anyway, that's about it for this one. Just wanted to do this quick little video here kind of talking about XDefiant and Call of Duty, and honestly, I'm not really sure if I got my point across. I'm kind of just rambling here. But hey, at the end of the day, this is just a replacement video anyway. 6 hours of Dark Souls. Jesus Christ. Real quick before I go, just want to thank you guys once again in case you didn't see my thank you video for 2,000 subscribers on the channel and getting me the YouTube partner. This is an achievement I never thought I would hit. And yeah, I hope you guys stick around for more. As always, if you did enjoy this video, definitely make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you want to come back for more content. That's about it. I'll see you guys in the next one.